When we remember a time, we remember moments. A kaleidoscope of the sights, the sounds, the emotions that remind us of the way we were. Our world. It's about time. Here are Linda Ellerby and Ray Gandolf.
For the next hour, think of your television set as a time machine.
Rummage around in our attic with us and see what we find. It looks a lot like your attic.
Welcome to our world. It is autumn 1956. We've gotten into this funny habit of thinking of the 50s as dull, plain vanilla. Too bad. Vanilla is not and never has been dull or plain. Neither was the autumn of 1956. This is, in fact, a remarkable time. In Eastern Europe, ordinary people living in Hungary will throw themselves in front of Russian tanks in the name of freedom. In America, our government will first become involved in the Middle East by refusing to help our friends in the Suez Canal crisis. In Australia, politics will muddy the Olympics, and on the banks of history's river, society will collide with segregation, suburbs, sex, and rock and roll. Meanwhile, there will be this one perfect game.
If there's a theme for Americans in the fall of '56, it's a comfortable life being questioned, even challenged. If there's a metaphor, it's a pan of water just before it boils, placid on top, but kind of shimmery underneath. Blacks are serving notice that their days of second-class citizenship are numbered. Kids are getting restless, but most of adult, white, middle-class America is getting bigger and richer every day. We like Ike, and he likes us, and everything's dandy, so let the good times roll.
Come on, baby, let the good time roll. Come on, baby, let me thrill your soul. Come on, baby, let the good time roll. Roll all night long.
We're having a meaningful relationship with the automobile. The 1957 models have just come out. A new DeSoto will cost $2,732. A gallon of premium gas, the kind we used to call Ethel, costs 29 cents. And service stations, well, they still offer service. We have some place to go because we're building thousands of miles of these new interstate highways. Our whole society seems hung up on these shiny, bright artifacts, cultural catalysts of chrome and steel. What the cars also are doing is taking us from the cities and to the suburbs. What we want is to live the good life. Just like our president, who is in a way himself suburban, steady, relaxed, calm, some even say invisible.
And of course, Ike's going on TV a little more often than he thought he would. He had to do something. A lot of kids were beginning to think Walt Disney was president.
Ike was good for a lot of jokes, you know. When things got tough in the White House, he used to put his army shoes on. And his golf game was something that he was the Jerry Ford of his day.
Getting to know you.
We already know the players in the presidential campaign. It's Democrats, Stevenson and Kefauver, versus Republicans, Eisenhower and Nixon.
Boy, they're really campaigning, aren't they? And the things the candidates say about each other, why, you'd think they were actors. I've never heard such words. Nixon says every family will have 2 cars, 3 TV sets, and only work 4 days a week. But Stevenson's gone him one better. He's trying to fix it so the Republicans won't have to work at all.
Hey, that's right.
The image, less managed. The commercials, less slick. And the aim? The votes of suburbanites. And so the candidates play the part.
The Stevensons are returning now from a shopping trip in Libertyville. The governor is helping with the groceries.
Don't forget to register and vote.
Your vote is your chance to do a really important job for your country. Please don't miss it. See you at the polls.
More than a son, John Eisenhower is also an unofficial advisor to Ike, and as such, worries that his father might be underestimating Stevenson.
I happened to be in his office this one day. I don't know exactly why. But I guess I was a little prone to tell him how to do his business at times. I was convinced this was a horse race. As a matter of fact, there are some polls showed Dad falling behind. So I went in to inform him of this. And he just leaned back and laughed and said, no, this fellow's licked and he knows it. Let's go out the ball game.
The ball game they went to was Game 1 of the World Series between the Yankees and the Brooklyn Dodgers. Eisenhower threw out the first ball. Adlai Stevenson followed suit for Game 2. In Game 5, a real pitcher wrote history.
Hi, everybody. Once again, from Yankee Stadium in New York, this is Bob Wolf saying hello to your host, the Gillette Safety Razor Company. Soon, the Brooklyn Dodgers and the New York Yankees will take the field for the 5th game in this exciting World Series.
On that bright October afternoon, in the most famous ballpark in the country, 3 men joined here for a moment unique in time, an occasion that had never been celebrated before and has never been celebrated since. The Yankees' Don Larsen pitched, Yogi Berra caught, and Dale Mitchell made the final out in the only no-hitter in World Series history. Better than that, it was a perfect game. 27 men came up, 27 sat down. No Dodger reached base for any reason at all. But halfway through the game, that was only a hope.
And now in the top of the 6th inning, Carl Furillo, who is flying to right field, leads off against Don Larsen.
Everybody knew that the fragile structure of a perfect game was being built out by out. But superstition forbade mentioning the words no-hitter. That would put the jinx on Larsen. Radio announcer Bob Wolf gave the facts but dodged the words.
I made frequent allusions to the fact that the Yankees had the only hits, only runs in the game. I did that constantly. At the end of the inning, when Larsen had set them down, I then recounted he's now set down 21 in a row or 24 in a row. It was so full of allusions that there was no way that anybody could escape it, and I kept pounding it to them all the way through.
That's 21 in a row, retired by Don Larsen. And the score in the middle of the 7th inning. The Yankees 2 and the Brooklyn Dodgers nothing.
It probably got to me in the 7th inning. After the 7th inning, I went in the dugout and I was smoking a cigarette, and I sort of bumped Mickey and I said, look at the scoreboard, wouldn't that be something, you know, 2 more innings to go. And right when I said that, everybody clammed up on me. It made me very uncomfortable because nobody would talk to me.
I didn't say a word to Don. I think everybody in the dugout knew what was going on. We left Larsen alone. We didn't even bother with him over there. We left him in a corner.
You know, I didn't like that because this wasn't a normal situation. And I knew something was happening. I wanted to relax myself, but, you know, nobody would talk to me, and I felt uncomfortable. It wasn't like, you know, a normal game. The only time I was comfortable was when I was back on the mound facing the Dodgers.
Jim Lowe, musician, disc jockey, Dodger fan, was at the game.
And all of a sudden, by the 7th inning, I was rooting for the Yankees. You had to. You really had to. And Dodgers sentiment, which was still high in those days because they were still here, you could just feel it subduing, just fading away in the late innings that afternoon, and everybody was for Don Larsen.
The 9th inning is coming up. I can see the folks already craning forward, leaning just a bit as they strain for full concentration on the performance here in the 9th. And coming up for the Brooklyn Dodgers, Carl Furillo will lead off.
I tried to keep the ball in on him, and he was following the balls like pushing it to the right a little bit. I made some good pitches on him, then he hit a pop fly to Hank Bauer. Here comes the pitch. There's a fly ball going out to right field. Bauer is waiting, and he has it. The batter is Roy Campanella. Campanella, I know he hit one pretty deep foul to the left, and I forget what I threw him, but he grounded out to Billy. Strike 1 the count. Here comes the pitch. And there's a ground ball going out to Billy Martin. He's up with it, throws to first, and Campanella's out.
The Dodgers are down to their last batter.
So I remember I turned around to the outfield, and I think I said, oh, man, upstairs, you got me this far, just give me one more. And I turn around, and I see Dale Mitchell, you know, the pinch hitter, and I know Dale very well from the American League.